Disclaimer. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes. It is not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset. Please do your own research and due diligence when choosing what to invest in. Now, on to the analysis.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's channel. On today's video, we're going to be looking at a contract that's going to be expiring this week, which is this Bitfarms $2.5 put expiring July 26th. And we're going to see what plans we have for this contract once it expires with the capital that I have being held here at the moment. But first, let me talk about one of the contracts that expired last week, July 19th. I did say that I was going to use that capital that was released to withdraw it back into my checking account. And so that was $250 that I had being held in collateral. As you can see here, I currently have $298 in my buying power. So those $250 were released from collateral. I'm now going to deposit $250 back into my checking account. So let me show you how I do that. So I'm going to go really quick to the bank and transfer that $250. So hopefully we'll see here, as you can see right away, I was able to withdraw that money from my buying power. It is now in my checking account. So now I currently have $48 in my buying power, which is part of the passive income that I've made selling options for the month of July. Okay. As you can see, also my total investments came down to $6,022 because I withdrew those $250. Okay. So that's what happens when you withdraw the money or capital that you have invested into the stock market. You're able to put it back into your checking account once those options expire, and that capital is released. You can withdraw that back into your checking account if you need it, right? And as I said in one of my previous videos, I am going to need that capital to make some payments. So very good. Now, I do have this option expiring this Friday coming up, July 26th. So what's going on with this option here? Let's take a look at it. As we can see here, I did sell this option on July 11th. I invested $250, as you can see here, and I received $20 back for selling this option, right? So my break-even price for this option is $2.30. So if Bitfarms falls below $2.30, or if it falls below $2.50, actually, I will be buying another 100 shares of Bitfarms for $230, right? Because that's the break-even price, okay? And as you can see right now, Bitfarms is currently trading at $2.81, okay? So that would be a discount from what it's trading at right now, almost a 50-cent discount, right? Or $50 of a discount from where it's currently trading at right now. Okay. However, if Bitfarms stays above $2.50, which is the strike price for this contract, right? As you can see here, this is a $2.50 put, right? So if it does stay above $2.50, I will not be able to purchase 100 shares of Bitfarms shares because I only agreed to pay $250 for them. Okay. So that capital is going to be released. So my plans with that $250 that could be released this Friday is I'm going to withdraw that capital as well and put that money back into my checking account, all right, in order to pay off some of the bills that I have coming up in the month of August. All right, so those are the plans that I'm able to do with this money that I have in my savings account, which is another good reason why you should manage your own money, right? Because if you had this money in a CD or any other type of savings account, you might be charged a fee for not having enough money in that account, or for withdrawing money early, right? From depending on which kind of account you have in the bank. But as we can see here, by managing our own account, if I do foresee needing this capital in the near future, well, I can make plans to withdraw that money once these options that I've sold have expired. Okay, so does that mean that since next week, also, I'm not planning to put any more money into my savings account because, as I said, I'm going to need some cash for bills that I have coming up in August. So does that mean that next week I'm not going to have any capital to invest in the stock market? No, because two of my options that expired also last Friday did expire, did release capital that I had held there as well. They released $550 of capital that I had, but in shares, right? So I have 200 shares of two companies that released capital, and one of them I bought 100 shares. Right, I had 100 shares of BlackBerry. So let's take a look at that now. I had 100 shares of BlackBerry, and I still have the 100 shares because BlackBerry is currently trading below $2.50. Okay, and that's the price that I bought these 100 shares of BlackBerry for. $2.50. So now next week, I'm going to be looking to reinvest these $250 that I had invested in BlackBerry, right? Because it's $2.50. My dollar cost average is $2.50 for 100 shares. So this is equal to $250 that I have right here. Okay, so I'm going to be reinvesting this capital that I have here next week into a BlackBerry option. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sell a call expiring on August 16th. Let's take a look. Let's see if this is convenient for me. If I sell this BlackBerry call option expiring August 16th for $2.50, I'll be making $10. Okay. Now let's take a look at 1 week ahead and see if it's only a $2 difference here, as you can see here. The same call, right? $2.50 strike price. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sell the August 16th one for $10 because it's less amount of time that I have to wait to see if when this capital is released, what I can do with my 100 shares of BlackBerry, right? Or my $250 of BlackBerry. So let's go ahead and put an order to sell this $2.5 call. All right. So we're going to go ahead and sell one covered call. And this is going to be, this is going to be for $10. So let me go ahead and put this order in, and then we'll review this order, okay? As we can see here, you are agreeing to sell 100 shares of BlackBerry at $2.50 on or before August 16th. If you aren't asked to sell BlackBerry by then, you'll keep your collateral and the full $10 credit. You're also paying regulatory fees of 3 cents per contract. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this order. Okay. And that is done. The order has been submitted, and we'll see if it gets executed on Monday. All right. But let's take a look at my history here with BlackBerry stock. That way we can see how much I've made on my $250 that I've invested into this company. Okay. As we can see here in my history, right? I've already made $28 on my $250 that I've invested in BlackBerry. And that was on June 20th. I made $28. Then on July 1st, because this contract expired in the money, right? I was assigned 100 shares of BlackBerry. So now I own 100 shares of BlackBerry. Okay. I bought them for a discount, right? But now I own 100 shares. So the next step for completing the wheel strategy is to sell a covered call. So that is what I did on July 1st. I sold the covered call for $14, as you can see here. That's how much I got paid for this contract right here. So in total, that's $42 that I've made already on my $250 investment, okay? Now, if I am able to sell another covered call on these 100 shares for $10, well, that's going to add up to $52 that I've made on my $250 investment. So how much interest is that's being compounded on my $250 investment into this BlackBerry stock? That's going to come out to 20.8% interest that I've made on $250 that I've invested into BlackBerry. Okay. And that is in less than 2 months. So it's about 10% a month that I've been able to compound on my $250 investment here. So that's what I'm going to do for the BlackBerry shares that I gained last week. So now let's talk about Bitfarms, right? I also had bought 100 shares of Bitfarms. As you can see now, I own 1,300 shares of Bitfarms. So I have 100 shares that I can use as collateral, okay? So you can see here from my dollar cost average, right? These 1,300 shares have cost me $2.57. So every time I sell a covered call, it's going to be $257 that I'm reinvesting into this company, Bitfarms. Okay, so let's take a look at the options here that we have that we can sell on these 100 shares of Bitfarms that I now own. So I'm going to try and look for the August 16th date, and as we can see here, I'm able to sell up to a $4.50 strike price, right? Which I'll be getting $5 for, right? So this looks like a good call to sell. However, if I go one more week out, as you can see here, right? This $4.50 call is not being sold. I'm not able to sell this one anymore. Let's go out one more week. And as we can see here, we have the same $4.50 strike price being sold for $10. So that is what I'm going to plan to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm planning to sell this option for $10. So let's go ahead and place this order for one contract. And we're going to try, actually, I'm going to try to sell it for $15. Let's see if that works out, because I'm going to show you why in a minute, okay? But I'm going to review this order. As we can see here, you're agreeing to sell 100 shares of Bitfarms at $4.50. Now, mind you, these shares cost me $2.57, right? So that means that I am going to plan to sell it for almost $2 of profit. For 100 shares, that's close to $200 that I will be making if this contract falls in the money on August 30th. Okay. And that's not including the $15 credit that I'm making selling this covered call option, right? So in total, that would be $4.65 then I would be selling each share for. Okay. $4.65, right? 450 plus 15, which is what I'm receiving here, 15 cents. 450 plus 15 cents would come up to $4.65, which is what I would be making on these 100 shares if this contract expired in the money on August 30th. All right. So that actually would be over $200 of what these 100 shares cost me. Okay. So let's go ahead and submit this order. And that is done. Now we have to wait till Monday to see if this order is executed. So that's all we have to do, ladies and gentlemen. Just click and submit the orders, and then just wait until these contracts get executed. Okay, so now let me show you why Bitfarms could move up in price on Monday coming up. All right, as we know, Bitfarms is a Bitcoin mining company. So let's take a look at what Bitcoin is trading at this moment. Okay, we all know that Bitcoin has fallen. Last week, it had fallen down to 60K, $60,000 per Bitcoin, right? But as of right now, this moment has gone up close to $68,000, 68K. So Bitcoin has been going up. So along with that, Bitcoin is going to make other Bitcoin mining stocks go up in value as well. So expect Bitfarms to go up in value this coming Monday, tomorrow. Okay, so that is why it's very possible that Bitfarms could be trading at $4 in August when that contract expires. And I could sell it for $15 today, Monday, this week coming up, because as we can see, Bitcoin is still going up as we speak. Okay, so that is why I've decided to try and sell that $4.50 call option for 15 cents or $15. Okay, as we can see here on my pending orders. Okay, so the orders have been submitted. Now we just have to wait for Monday to come and see if these orders get executed. All right. So now today I also wanted to talk a little bit about Riot platforms and Bitfarms. That saga, as we know, isn't over. We're going to take a look at some of the news that has come out. Actually, no, we're going to revisit some of the articles that came out about this saga. So Riot actually launched a website called A Better Bitfarms, where they intend to nominate 3 members to the board of directors on Bitfarms because they claim that Bitfarms needs a better governance, right? In their board of directors. So let's take a look at this website that they've launched. A Better Bitfarms. It's time to fix Bitfarms' broken corporate governance. Okay. So as we see here, they say new independent perspectives are needed on the Bitfarms board to evaluate the best path forward for shareholders. The incumbent board is founder-driven and has lost credibility among shareholders. It should not be trusted to set and guide the company's priorities moving forward. Let's make a change. Riot has requisitioned a special meeting to allow Bitfarm shareholders the chance to elect 3 highly qualified director candidates to the Bitfarm board, who will make repairing Bitfarm's broken corporate governance and maximizing value for all Bitfarm shareholders their top priorities. Okay, so they claim that their nominees, right, for board of directors is superior to the ones they currently have on the board. Let's take a look at what they say here. Okay, our director candidates. Let's go into this section here. Our highly qualified director candidates. Riot's director nominees are fully independent of Riot and Bitfarms, highly qualified and ready to serve. So the first one here is John Delaney. John will bring decades of public policy and government relations knowledge, which is critical to the Bitcoin mining industry going forward, as well as crucial hands-on experience overseeing successful sale processes as a public company director. He has public board experience, M&A experience, which is merger and acquisitions, government and public affairs expert. John is a government and public affairs expert with experience in the public and private sectors who currently serves as president of Flagler College, of counsel at government relations firm the Fiorentino Group, and of counsel at law firm Rogers Towers, PA. Previously, he served in numerous political roles, including as the mayor of Jacksonville, the 12th largest city by population in the United States. John currently serves as a director on the board of privately held Main Street America Insurance, formerly the Main Street America Group, and previously was on the boards of Jacksonville Bancorp and Florida Rock Industries Incorporated, both of which were successfully acquired. Okay, the second up for nominee is Amy Friedman. Amy will bring decades of experience helping boards improve corporate governance and evaluate complex M&A transactions, and possesses a unique perspective from having served as both a public company advisor and director. Public board and governance experience, capital markets experience, and financial expertise. Amy is a corporate governance and public capital markets expert with over 25 years of experience. Excuse me. She is currently an advisor to Ewing Morris and Company Investment Partners and to Longacre Square Partners. Prior to serving as an advisor to Ewing Morris, Mrs. Friedman was a partner and head of engagement fund investing at Ewing Morris. Previously, she was CEO of Kingsdale Advisors, a leading shareholder services and advisory firm, and spent over 15 years in capital markets as an investment banker with global firms including Stifel Financial Corp and Morgan Stanley. Mrs. Friedman is currently a director on the boards of Mandalay Resources Corporation, Irish Residential Properties REIT, and American Hotel Income Properties REIT. Mrs. Friedman is also currently a director of Canaccord Genuity, but her tenure on the board of Canaccord Genuity will end on August 9, 2024, as she is not standing for re-election. She formerly served on the board of Park Lawn Corporation. And finally, we have this nominee, Ralph Goring. Ralph will bring relevant energy industry and executive leadership experience, as well as extensive public company financial accounting and tax expertise, which is integral to any potential M&A process. He has public board experience, M&A experience, public CFO experience, Chief Financial Officer. Ralph is a financial and energy expert with extensive experience serving as a public company CFO. Ralph is currently a business consultant to Global Clean Energy Holdings Incorporated, where he previously served as CFO and is also the founder and CEO of Sand Dollar Financial, an accounting firm that provides outsourced accounting and CFO services Formerly, he was the CFO of both Bonanza Creek Energy Incorporated and Berry Petroleum Company. Ralph is currently president and CEO and a board member of privately held Black Horse Resources and previously served on the board of Strathmore Minerals Corporation, which was successfully sold. Okay, so as we can see here, these are the three candidates that Riot has put as not for nomination on the special meeting coming up in October. I believe is when this meeting is supposed to come up, where they will vote on who Bitfarms board of directors will be going forward. All right. So Riot is, as we can see here, they're still going after Bitfarms. They do want to buy out Bitfarms. All three of these candidates that they have nominated for the board of directors have no real Bitcoin mining experience. You can see here. All right. I know that Riot went after some of Bitfarms members here. Let's take a look at who they've gone after. Let's see, they're going after who are they going after? Let's see. All right, so they're going after some of the founders of this company. They're trying to get them removed from the board of directors. Okay, as we can see here in these articles. All right, some interesting information here. So they do want to have some of the founders of Bitfarms be removed from the board of directors. Okay. All right, so that's what their agenda is. But let's continue with this website here. All right. A Better Bitfarms. So we've taken a look at some of the candidates that they have nominated for the board of directors. Let's take a look at what they have talked about as far as the independent perspectives. Bitfarms recently had an abrupt CEO change with governance questions raised by the terminated CEO against the company founders. Bitfarms share price is down 48% in the last 3 months, been flattish since the CEO termination in May. This according to a quote by Alliance Bernstein, May 28, 2024. Let's take a look at another quote from Roth MKM. Here he says, Bitfarms has also struggled from a corporate governance perspective as its previous CEO's exit was accelerated into a termination, with the CEO then bringing a $27 million breach of contract lawsuit against Bitfarms. Okay, so Bitfarms is going to fight this lawsuit, right? They don't believe that their previous CEO was wrongfully terminated. Okay, we don't know all of the things that are going on this lawsuit. So we'll have to wait and see what the judges decide on this. And then finally, we have Mike Alfred. He is quoted as saying, Jason Les, which is Riot's CEO at the moment, believes, and I wholeheartedly agree, that corporate governance changes are needed at Bitfarms ASAP. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, Bitfarms did terminate their previous CEO in May. And since then, they were searching for a new CEO. As we know right now, they finally got the best candidate moving forward. It took them a couple of months to hire their new CEO, and that's to be expected, right? They want to interview as many people as possible. They don't want to be too hasty when it comes to making this decision of choosing who their next CEO will be. And as we know, Ben Gagnon, who is now currently serving as CEO for this company, he did want to be CEO. He threw his name in the hat for a new CEO of Bitfarms very early on in the search process, right? But Bitfarms did want to interview other candidates. They wanted to interview other perspectives outside of the company. And I'm sure they did a lot of interviews. They had made a lot of interviews with different people. But as we know, Ben Gagnon, with his experience in Bitcoin mining, was the best possible candidate. And he is the candidate that really all retail investors wanted, and most likely all institutions also wanted as Bitfarms' next CEO. So very good on Bitfarms to be able to do that. All right. So we're missing a little bit of context when it comes to these quotes right here, right? When it comes to these quotes that, Bitfarms governance needs to be changed ASAP, right? According to Mike Alfred, what he said on May 28th, right? We're missing a lot of context here. So yes, this was a bit of bad news, but let's take a look at what we were able to do thanks to this bad news that came out in May. Okay, let's go to my Bitfarms history, and we're going to take a look at what happened in May. Okay, as we can see here, we'll have to go back a month to see what I was able to do in May because of this bad news. See, when bad news comes, ladies and gentlemen, that's not always a bad thing. As we can see here in May, I was able to sell contracts of Bitfarms for a very nice premium when that bad news came out. Okay, so we can see here, I only had to invest $200 and I received $51, $50 on a couple of these contracts, right? These put contracts, right? Before that bad news came out, I was only able to make 10%. But once that bad news did come out, as we can see here, by investing $200, I was able to make $50 on average on those $200 that I had invested. So how much interest is that I was able to make right off the bat? Well, let's divide $50 from 200. And that comes out to 25% interest. So I was able to make 25% return on my investment because of the bad news that came out on the terminated CEO, ex-CEO of Bitfarms, right? So because the stock price of Bitfarms went down drastically after that announcement, I was able to make 25% interest immediately when I sold these covered puts. So that was good news for me. I was even able to sell a $1.50 put, right? Which is pretty amazing. That's how low the price of Bitfarms went during that time. You can see here then I was able to sell, I was even able to make $60 on 2 contracts at the $2 strike price. So that was what? That means that I was able to make, that's actually less than $50 because we consider it's 2 contracts, right? So it's $30 per contract. So yeah, but yeah, I was able to make 25% return because that bad news came out on Bitfarms and selling these $2 covered puts, $1.50 covered puts. So that really was good news for me. I was able to sell covered puts when that bad news came out, right? Because I knew that Bitfarms didn't have a problem with their corporate governance. I knew that they were going to execute on their plans going forward, and so they have. And that's why we see that their stock price has continued to go up since that bad news, right? And we're expecting next week for it to go up even further because Bitcoin, as we saw earlier, is continuing to move up in price, right? So you have to take advantage of those moments, ladies and gentlemen. When bad news comes out on the stock that you are planning to invest in, that's an opportunity for you to take advantage of that bad news and sell a covered put because those covered puts will become more valuable since the stock price has come down so drastically. All right. There's a term used in the stock market where if the stock goes down drastically, you buy the dip, right? But since we're not buyers of stocks, right? We don't buy stocks outright. We sell options when the stock goes down. So we don't buy the dip. We sell puts with our strategy, using the wheel strategy. That's what we do. That's how we're able to take advantage of any bad news that hits a stock. Okay, so good on us that we were able to take advantage of those opportunities. They don't come very often, and now we're able to benefit from that bad news. So going back to this website that Riot has launched, a Better Bitfarms, right? Where they claim to be able to create a better Bitfarms with the 3 candidates that they have nominated. to be on the board of directors of Bitfarms company. Let's go back to this press release here, dated June 24th, 2024. Here they claim the special meeting will give Bitfarms shareholders the opportunity to vote on the removal of Bitfarms chairman and interim CEO Nicholas Bonta and director Andres Finkelstein or their replacements. And notice this point here, and any individual who fills the current vacancy created by the resignation of co-founder Emiliano Gratsky, who was voted off the Bitfarms board at the company's most recent annual general and special meeting of shareholders. Riot believes that Bonta and Finkelstein bear direct responsibility for the Bitfarms board's poor corporate governance practices and consistent inability to realize Bitfarms' full potential. Riot will also seek to remove any additional director appointed by the Bitfarms board after the date of this press release. So this means that they are going to go after the recently nominated candidate of the Bitfarms board, which is she's not nominated, she's actually appointed on Bitfarms to be on Bitfarms board of directors, right? That's Mrs. Fanny Philip. But let's continue on this press release. It says to replace these individuals, Riot has nominated 3 exceptional candidates: John Delaney, Amy Friedman, and Ralph Goring. Each of the nominees is independent of Riot and Bitfarms and is ideally qualified to help restore shareholders' confidence in the Bitfarms board. Together, the nominees will bring needed independence and corporate governance credentials to the Bitfarms board, as well as relevant experience overseeing significant corporate transactions and serving in executive management and public company director roles. As we can see here, these 3 nominees, they do not have any experience when it comes to Bitcoin mining or anything about digital assets, right? And they are going to go after any directors that have been appointed by Bitfarms board. So this would include Mrs. Fanny Philip, who was recently appointed to Bitfarms board of directors. Let's take a look at Mrs. Fanny Philip's credentials here. Here we read in this press release, Mrs. Philip is a recognized expert in blockchain technology field and an accomplished finance executive with an extensive background in audit, public company reporting, and mergers and acquisitions. Okay, so here we see her credentials: recognized expert in the blockchain technology field. Let's read on more about her credentials here. Mrs. Phillips holds a CPA public account permit and is a member of the mining committee of the Canadian Blockchain Consortium and the president of its Quebec chapter. Okay, so as we can see here, Mrs. Fanny Phillips does have knowledge or expertise in Bitcoin mining and digital assets, right? And here we see more good news here. Fanny's deep knowledge of the North American and European energy sectors and extensive experience across the fields of digital assets, mining, and AI will be invaluable as we continue to drive significant organic growth and capture a greater share of the global demand for Bitcoin. We look forward to leveraging Fanny's experience to maximize value for Bitfarms shareholders. So we can see here the candidate that Bitfarms has appointed as a member of the board of directors here to replace the board members that were removed according to their most recent shareholders meeting. Well, she does have a lot of experience when it comes to Bitcoin and digital assets, and not only that, also in AI. And we know AI is very hot right now, right? A lot of companies are involved with AI, and so that would also help Bitfarms to be able to improve with their stock performance. Okay. However, the candidates that Riot has nominated, they do not have experience when it comes to these things. So will Riot be able to create a better Bitfarms according to this website that they have launched? We seriously doubt that, ladies and gentlemen. We seriously doubt that because they have problems of their own, and the candidates that they have nominated do not have experience when it comes to Bitcoin mining, digital assets, or AI, right? High performance computing, artificial intelligence. They don't have any experience, any background when it comes to that field, to that industry. So why would they be able to create a better Bitfarms with these three candidates? They wouldn't. Mrs. Fanny Philip, on the other hand, does have knowledge, does have experience and expertise when it comes to digital assets, Bitcoin mining, and high-performance computing, artificial intelligence. So Bitfarms already has a better corporate governance with her on board. Not only that, they already hired a new CEO in Ben Gagnon, the best candidate that they could have appointed as their new CEO. And he has been with the company for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. So not only is he the best candidate out there available for them, he knows the company. He knows all of the people who are still involved with this company. He is the best possible CEO that Bitfarms could have, right? So that is why Bitfarms is already the best Bitfarms that there could be, right? We do not need Riot to come and try to fix Bitfarms to become a better Bitfarms. No, they already are the best Bitfarms they could be for the moment. Okay, so that's all I wanted to add, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are having a great weekend. Look forward to this upcoming week to see how the stock performs next week. But as always, ladies and gentlemen,
This has been another video from Dad's Market Stats. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like the video. If you know someone that can benefit from these videos, make sure to share it with them as well. Until next time, and remember, let's grow together.